As you can see, I had to come back in and get some laundry done and get some deer meat ready to get going to make jerky and stuff. So we're going to head back out pretty soon here to the hunting property and back to deer camp. Let's talk today about stress, right? A lot of people right now is really stressed because it's coming up on Christmas, right? One thing I always try to remember is something my grandfather told me. He said, I don't really care if you buy me anything, right? He said, what I enjoy about the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, is eating, getting together with family and fellowshipping and things like that, right? I told you I haven't celebrated Christmas really several years, but this year we're all getting together and we're going to have a big Christmas. Now to me, it's about, just like my grandpa, I like the food, the ham. Not too big on turkey, like I've told you. I've never ate a turkey that wasn't dry and tasted like a wet paper towel. But I just like getting together and eating, enjoying being around people. And some people that know me, it's like, that's kind of strange. He don't like to be around nobody, right? But my grandpa, we talked one time. He was talking about growing up. He grew up in the Depression. He was born in the 20s, so he was coming of age during the Depression. He told me for their Christmas, he said they didn't get toys. If they wanted toys, they made them, right? They were handmade toys and things like that. For Christmas, they would get something like maybe a piece of candy, or an orange. He said an orange was just something spectacular to get when you was a kid, And you think back to then and look at now at what kids get for Christmas, right? They get $500 video games, and people feel like if they don't buy their kids the newest, greatest thing, that, their kid's going to get picked on, or their kid's going to be considered poor because they don't have the newest Xbox or the PlayStation or something like that, right? And it shouldn't be like that, Growing up, I got a few toys, but I mainly got clothes and stuff, things we needed. And if you try to do that now, these kids nowadays, they're just going to pitch a fit, right, if they're not getting toys. But that's where we're at in society, right? You can't let your kid be outdone by another kid type of situation, right? You got to also remember, there's going to be kids out there whose parents can't afford to buy them the newest stuff. That they can't go out and buy these $500-$600 video games or brand new $2,000 cell phones and things, right? We have come so far from my grandfather's generations that now, if you're not spending $500 to $1,000 on someone for Christmas, some people get mad. Like, well, I can't believe you bought me that, right? We've all seen that. I'm sure my old lady don't like what I do for Christmas. I always make her something. Last year I made her a huge coat rack made out of deer antlers. The year before that I made her a keepsake box. I built 2 of them and things like that. I like to build stuff for Christmas. My kids, they're all grown, but I have 2 stepkids. She has 2 little ones. They're 9 and 13. My kids now, I'll make them, homemade pickled eggs and homemade deer jerky and things like that. I think they enjoy it. I'm not sure. They don't complain, I can tell you that much. But nowadays, if your kids, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to keep saying it. Now money is tight for everyone right now. Like I told you, there is no middle class. You're either rich or you're working poor or you're destitute. I mean, it's just that simple, And Christmas holidays brings a lot of stress onto people because they feel like they can't buy everything they need to buy for someone, right? I wish we would get back to, making presents, and, it's more about the getting together with family, and celebrating Christmas. But nowadays it's not, and it's not ever going to go back to that unless the world falls apart, which is what a lot of people and myself think will happen pretty soon, right? Because everything that's going on, something's got to happen. Right? I don't know. But stress during the holidays is a bad thing. Don't be stressed. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for what you don't have sometimes, right? How many times have we sat there wishing we had something and then we finally get it, right? And it's like, this ain't all I thought it cracked up to be, right? It's not everything I thought it would be. Be thankful for what you have. I knew a person one time who told me, they said, I hate being broke. I said, are your bills paid? Every month. I pay them every month. You have gas in your car? Full tank every month. You got groceries? Yeah, I've got groceries. Kids healthy? You're healthy? Yeah. You're not broke. And they told me, well, if I can't stop and buy a hamburger, I'm broke. I'm like, you're looking at this wrong. As long as your bills are paid, you got food in your belly and things like that, you're not broke. We need to look at things more like that nowadays. You know, a lot of people know a lot of my stuff I buy for my prep, and the vast majority of it comes second hand. That's the way we prefer to prep. Now, my water filters, stuff like that, buy them new. You know, buy them new. But I can't see going out and spending $100 on a backpack for prepping, and I bought $150 backpack for $8 at a yard sale, right? I got it for $8. That's a better deal, you know. Like I said yesterday, or maybe a couple days ago, the stores now that are second-hand selling clothes, a lot of them in our area has upped the price to you're just might as well go buy them new, right? But guys, don't stress out over the holiday. It's going to come and it's going to go, right? But you just be thankful for what you have, and a lot of times be thankful for what you don't have. You probably have a lot of people this year that's been sick. You've had people that's broke. You got people that's still broke and still sick. Be thankful you're still alive, you know. I know times are hard and times are rough. Sometimes it looks really bleak out there, right? Like you can't keep your head above water. But the important thing is to keep pushing. It's okay if you have to sit down and take a break. That's something I want to make very clear. You always hear people tell you, don't quit, and I've told you that. But it is okay if you have to sit down and take a break, because sometimes you got to refocus and regroup and go back, right? Sometimes that's just the way it works, guys. Don't be depressed over what you can't buy or what you can't buy right now. Just be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for what little bit you're able to give someone if you're able to give it to them. You know, if you ain't got no money and you can't buy a Christmas present, and you know you got family you're going to see, cook something. You know, if you've got enough food, cook something for them. You know, it doesn't have to be money at Christmas. It can just be, I made this, here you go. You know, that to me, that's more, shows you care more about somebody if you do something like that than if you go buy them something. To me, now you may think I'm completely wrong on this one, you know, that the way you show love or appreciation is through money, right? I feel that you can do it by building them something, cooking them something, you know. Like one year when I lost a house, I was living in that 8x12 shed with, you know, at Christmas, I had a friend that called me up and said, hey, come over. We're not having no big Christmas or nothing. But you know what we did? We went and got a pizza and we shared it and we enjoyed our Christmas that day. That was our Christmas, you know. Guys, you don't have to buy stuff to prove how good you are or to prove how much you love someone or how much you care for them. There's other ways to do it. If you can't afford to cook something for them, write them a note, write them a letter, you know, make them a homemade card. There's all kind of stuff you can do. Don't get stressed over all this money stuff. I know people personally that at Christmas, they will rack their credit card up to buy this expensive stuff, right? And then when tax season comes in, they pay their credit card off. And that's how they do it every year. Don't be like that, you know. Kind of a rambling video. It's just some thoughts that was on my head. My grandpa got on my mind last night about Christmas. You know, how he preferred just he was more about the food like I am. I enjoy eating, you know, especially the holidays, because you don't eat that good every day, right? I'm fortunate enough to have a big family. You know, like I said, I took a couple years off of Christmas because, you know, when you lose everything, you get in that slump, you get in that dark hole, you know, where you don't want to be around nobody. You don't, you know, you barely can feed yourself, and you can't buy stuff for people, right? So I kind of took a couple years off, but this year I'm feeling better about Christmas. You know, we had Thanksgiving. It's the first year I had Thanksgiving with the kids and everything. All of them weren't there, but most of them was. You know, as your kids get older too, they're going to have to go to different places. They got to go to their wives, family, or, you know, you understand what I'm saying. But once my grandparents died, the family get-togethers, every holiday, every birthday stopped. It stopped around 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. It stopped. You know, that generation of my grandparents that was born in the 20s and the teens, they were kind of the last generation of the year. You know, Christmas is here. Well, I'm married and I got to go over here. No, you tell them to come here, and next year we'll go there. That's the way it was, right? And I don't see it much here no more like that. You may see it that way in your area. It may still be that way. But when that generation died, it kind of stopped the family get-togethers. Now my oldest kids, you know, they're trying to start it back up and everything. They're wanting to get it going again. So maybe it's going to pick back up. Maybe the way the world is right now, things need to get back to the simple stuff, right? The simple stuff. Make sure that you know, it's not about money. It's about being around family, laughing, joking, you know, whatever. It's not about money all the time. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm sorry I rambled today. There's a lot of stuff on my mind because my grandpa got on my mind last night, and it kind of bothers me when I think about my grandpa. You know, he was my hero. My grandpa was my hero. So let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person who can do it. Keep prepping, and don't stress over Christmas because you can't buy the newest, greatest thing. Be thankful for what you have, what you're able to do, and just enjoy it. Take you a day and enjoy it. Stay safe and keep prepping.